values will stand on similar mountains. Let's call those mountains in the same mountain range. Thus, their view of the world, what they can see from their vantage point, from their perspective, will be largely the same. There will still be differences. The person on this mountain will be able to see stuff over here, but the person on that mountain can't, and vice versa. Let alone, if there was a mountain in a different mountain range, they would be seeing the world very differently. Let alone in a different country. Let alone on a different hemisphere of the planet. We see the world through us, not anybody else, from our perspective. Perspective is a very strange thing. The brain does some very strange things for us. Anybody seen this picture before? Yeah. The picture is actually called My Wife and Mother-in-Law. And for those of you who can see exactly what I mean, there are, in fact, there's a picture there of a woman. Some people will say the woman is 80 or so years old. And some people will say, no, she's about 20. And some people will say, actually, she's very attractive. And the other person will say, you're weird, you're sick. What's the matter with you? The issue here is that they are both represented. Now, you may or may not be able to see both pictures. Can everybody see the old lady? Yeah, the old lady. Anybody see the young lady? Anybody see only one? Which one do you see? Young lady. Which one do you see? Young lady. Anybody only see the old lady? Yeah? It might help if I did that. Sort of pull them apart, and if I put them back together again, can you now see it? Look where that ear is. Look where that eye is. Sometimes people go, oh yeah! The point is they're both there. We have a perception of perhaps one or the other, and it may take us a while to see the other person's point of view, because it wasn't our original point of view. And by the way, when you see this picture, because it's a famous picture, whenever you see this picture next, you will see first whatever you first saw the first time you saw it, if you follow. There they both are. What about this? This is what? Cube. Essentially it's a cube, but about 60% of the cube isn't there. If we showed this picture to a computer, scanned this into a reasonably simple computer, what would it say is there? And the answer is not black circles, because they are not full circles. They are segments, lined up to give the impression that there is a whole circle there. There are 24 black circle segments on a white background, full stop. 24 black circle segments on a white background, that's it. They happen to be aligned such that there are gaps that lead us to believe and lead us to cry out for the order of a cube. If we zoomed in to this part here, what would be there? Is somebody saying a cross? Because if we zoomed into that part there, all you would see is white background. So even those people who know that there's nothing there will still say, surely there's going to be a cross. No, there's no cross there. In the same way as if we zoomed up here, there's just white, there's just white, there's just white. If we zoomed in. And yet, for me particularly, it's this bit, I almost feel there's a different shade because my brain is throwing me, surely there's a line there. So we perceive the cube. We have to make sense of what we see. It's what the brain does. This one I'm not going to take too long about, but I'm just going to give you the experience which many of you will not believe. Many of you will not believe this, okay? That is a three-dimensional representation of a checkerboard with a green cylinder casting a shadow. There are two marked squares on that checkerboard. There is marked A and marked B. When I first saw this picture, I was asked which square is the lighter square on that picture. I answered B. Of course, B. But and here's the interesting thing, when we mask everything except those two squares, they're the same. Was? Wirklich? But it went white again. No, it didn't. Your brain is compensating for the shadow like it has done since you were a tiny baby. In the same way as if you looked under here, there's a shadow. Your brain does not assume that the carpet has changed color. It assumes the same color, which is why, with the shadow, your brain is assuming that color is the same as that color. That's all I got for you. Most people say, no, you've changed the slides. Why would I do that? Why would I do that in illustration of this point? Perception is a very strange thing. The way we approach things is a very strange thing. We have an exercise called the Village Fete, or in Germany we'd have to call it the Beer Festival. And we say, last year's Village Beer Festival was a failure. We need to plan this year's. And we get all the red predominance in one corner. We get all the green in this corner. We get all the blue in that corner and all the yellows in this corner. And the approach is incredibly different. The blue. Is that all the information we get? And about 40 or 50 seconds in, they might start writing. And it will be characterized by point 1. What went wrong last year? How do we measure success? What are the key performance indicators that allow us to know whether or not this is a good thing to do or not? Contrast that approach with the yellow bunch. Last year's Beer Festival was a failure. Plan this year's, just get more beer. That'd be great. Give it away. Make it free. Have a wet T-shirt competition just for the blokes. And they just go mad. They have all these ideas. They say, I'll tell you what, we'll have Kylie Minogue to come and open it. That'll be great. And they have all these wonderful, crazy, off-the-wall ideas, creativity, juices flowing, but they don't tend to discern those ideas. They'll just have them. It ends up being the event that they'd like to go to, actually. Over in the green corner, we have a group of people who are collaborative. They will say, first of all, we need to form a committee. We need to make sure that everybody else is bought in. We need to go and speak to the interested groups. We need to go to speak to the Women's Institute. We need to speak to the Round Table and the Rotary Club. And they will go and speak to all these interested groups and make sure everybody is getting what they want. In the red corner, they say, right, something might have gone wrong last year. What we need to do is sack all that bunch and get a new lot in. The little old lady who used to sell the cakes, she's 97. She's not making a profit. Sack her. Get rid of her. No. But they will come up with the actions, the timescales, the moving ahead, the business of the fate. And at the end of that exercise, we always say, who had the best plan? And the Reds always say we did, but we move along. We say, whatever best plan, perhaps it needs to look like this. Perhaps we need to start somewhere, but go everywhere. Let's go to the yellows for all those crazy, wonderful, juicy ideas. There will be thousands of them, and they won't be discerned. Just be a stack of ideas, brilliant ideas. Why are they brilliant, yellows? Because we had them. Okay. And why not? Because on that free thinking, creativity, ideas, move it across then, afterwards, to the discerners. The people who can apply caution, questioning, and analysis. And you know what they do? They sit there and they go, idea 1, no. Idea 2, you are joking. Idea 3 is illegal. Idea 4, we can research a little bit more. And they will move through those ideas, discern them, research them, and come up with perhaps 1 or 2 of the best ideas. After which, perhaps we move it down to our friends in the green corner, who will talk to people. They will work out the impacts, the values, the people, the culture. In corporate speak, the buy-in. Is everybody okay with that? Is what they'd say. Then, and perhaps only then, do we chuck it up to our red friends who will say, okay, here are the actions, here are the targets, here are the outcomes, here are the timescales. Go. That's what they do. That's what they do best. So we work out that, in fact, every single one of those inputs is not only valid, but invaluable. Just because it's somebody else's idea, somebody else's thought, somebody else's feeling, somebody else's input, does not make it wrong. It may make it different. So how do we tell the difference? When you get somebody walking into your your profession, your clinic, your rooms, whatever it is that you have. How do we know? Well, people leak their behavior through body language. It's very difficult to give you a hit of body language through static photographs, but I'm going to try. Look up here. We have the blue behavior, which tends to be more reserved. It will tend to have more barriers. There's a personal space thing going and needs to be respected when there's blue in the room. Contrast with the yellow, opposite. There's no personal space at all. It's pointy, it's sort of out there. There's nothing in the way. It's expressive. You see it going on. In the same way as red tends to be large, erect body language, big, hands on hips, hands behind head, powerful grip. Ah, yes, very good. Ouch. Affirmative handshake. Straight lines. Our friends in the green corner, a little bit more fluid, a little bit more flowing. One of the best indicators of somebody in this area is that. See what I'm doing? Just that. Head on one side. Margaret Thatcher tried that. Didn't work very well. It came across as patronizing. Yeah. Doing it well, doing it comfortably, looks great. Body language. Such that these two, what do you reckon at the top? Cluster one. Two people of the same color, persuasion. What do you reckon? What color? They're touching each other for a start. He's in hysterics. They're having fun. They're casually dressed. Clues? Yellow. Yeah, a bit of yellow's going on there. These two have taken a bit of time. They've gone and sat down. Yeah, you're getting it. There's still, by the way, just check out the body language, there's still something in the way of each other, but there's a reason. It's the book, it's the cup, it's something there. So there's still that until I get to know you issue. I think that she's more interested than he is, because he's leaning back. I think she's a bit of a predator, to be honest. Oh, that's where I go with it. Cluster 3, strong, hand on hip, confrontational body language. In fact, what this man is doing, let me just try and illustrate it here again. What this man is doing is he's got his other hand. He's in control. Sometimes the red will turn your hand over for power. When they do that, I do that. The problem is he can then use his hand to put on top, and I'm stuffed. Red body language. Look for it. It's there. It's out there. You'll often see signs of impatience as well, heading towards the door, nodding, tapping the fingers, glancing at the clock, that sort of thing. Blue. Final body language. The evaluative stroke, we call that. Evaluative stroke. Yellows would walk past these two. I'm yellow. Walk past these two. Are they alive? You see this little cobweb that comes between them here? They're just doing it their way. Not my way, their way. Is it right, is it wrong? It doesn't matter. It's their way. It's different. It's invaluable. And sometimes I need that in my life because it grounds me. It is the opposite. We'll also get some tone. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not very good. It says clear, businesslike, challenging, and abrupt. That's the sort of tone you might get from red. It's fast. Opposite, soft, sincere. And they're interested. And they'll do that little pause before answering. And people with yellow and red persuasion need to understand that there's a pause. And it's not there for red and yellow to fill. Just shut the front door. Let that happen. Yellow, as we already know, loud, enthusiastic, tonality, smiles, expression. You're going to get what's going on with them. Contrasted to blue, will be quiet and steady. A bit like a serious news announcement. There will be just the information, relatively slow. They're thinking things through, so sometimes they just come with them. Look out for tone. Not just what people are saying, but how they're saying it. My suggestion to adapt and connect to people is very simple. Knowing this as a color energy model. The suggestion is this. You bring to mind, bring to consciousness those behaviors you want to express more of. The difficulty here will be with your opposite style. With me, I just need to calm it down. I'll put a tie on. I will give space, 43 or more seconds before somebody replies. Their lack of immediate answer does not indicate they're not interested, nor does it indicate a lack of intelligence, quite the opposite. And I must allow that to happen if I'm able to adapt and connect to people. So I need to express calmness. I need to express thoughtfulness. And I need to hold back on some of the behaviors that aren't appropriate. So I wouldn't walk into the blue energy and go, "Hiya, how you doing? Good to see you." Because that would be it. I would be arrested. I speak from direct experience. So we hold back on some of those things that we know we put out there because we've become a little bit more self-aware. And hold in mind what we call the slogan or the motto for each of the people as you interact with them. Just bear this in mind too. You might just want to write this down. Red and yellow, extroverted. Green and blue, introverted. Red and blue, thinking, like a dome at the top there. Thinking like a brain. Green and yellow, feeling. Feeling like a bottom. At the bottom. So the slogan for each of the people's types as you interact looks a bit like this. Red, be brief, be bright, be gone. Hold that in mind. The tough job is if you've got red in front of you and you are green. You will feel you are being rude. It would be rude, greens, not to be like this, because that's what they want. What would you like me to do next is a great question for red. It keeps them in control. They like that place. So remember that for red. So what do you want me to do next? And they'll tell you, I want 4 pharmaceuticals, I want an appointment next week, and you go, great, I'll do that. Let them be in charge. What about the yellow, involve me? Involve me. Don't keep me in the dark. Involve me. Talk to me about me. It's my favorite subject. In my conversations with people, I say, look, that's enough about me. Let's talk about you. What do you think of me? I love the idea of somebody saying to me, you tell me, how do you see this working for you? Let me paint that picture that you say, you know what, that's a great idea. Okay, I'll have those 4 pharmaceuticals. Off I go. Happy. What about our friends in the green corner? Unsurprisingly, it's show me you care. And a lot of the energy that we want to put across there, as those practitioners, let alone any other practitioner, is somebody who cares. Demonstrate that to these people, and they'll feel comfortable. They'll start to trust. It takes a bit more of a time for green to trust, but they're becoming trustworthy, and you become their trusted health advisor. Not a salesperson. Show me you care. So, great question. Do you get the sense that this is something you'd find valuable? So this is not pushing them. It's just getting to an agreement. And it's a very comfortable question. Because no is an okay answer. I'm not sure, actually. Perhaps I need to go and speak to my husband about it. Fine. Not suggesting anything other than that answer is okay. Blue, give me the details. Sometimes blue can also, sometimes it can be prove it. And this is where some of your wonderful literature comes in. Because you have got as much of this documentation as you need. Give me the details is what blue is looking for. Great question for blue. So, are there any other details that you need before making a decision to go ahead with this? It's a great question. You get this wrong, and it just feels slightly out of kilter. You ask yellow that question, they go, huh? What? Yeah. You can get it wrong very easily. I've literally got 1 minute left. I want just to try something here with you. Anybody know what this is? It's not hard, is it? Everybody see that, brother? You know what it is? It's money. What denomination is it? What flavor is it? What is it? It's a €10 note, yeah? How much is it worth? Not much. 2 cups of coffee in Dusseldorf. It depends, yeah. But it's worth €10. Whatever that means in terms of the purchasing power. It's just €10. And that's what this piece of paper is worth. Let me ask you this question. How much is it worth now? How much is it worth now? Okay. How much is it worth now? How much is it worth now? Same. We are a bit like this. We have a worth. Doesn't matter what happens to us. Doesn't matter whether we get screwed up.